was working from home, and I got a call. There was going to be a delivery later in the afternoon. And so I said, great, just leave it at the office, and at the end of the day, I'll go pick it up. No, said the voice on the phone, you need to come down and get this. Okay. So an hour later, I get the call, go downstairs, go outside. There's a white van, and I go up to it, and a man comes out, and he takes out of it this cage. And in the cage is this white dove pigeon-looking bird. And I look at it, he sees my eyes, and he says, it's a gift. Now, the first thing that goes through my mind is, no, I don't want a pet right now. The second thing I think is, I don't even believe in putting birds in cages. And the third thing I think is, Mina, it's a gift. Be grateful. It's a gift. So he hands me the card, and I open this card, and this gift is from a woman in one of my programs where we teach women confidence, communication skills, and how to negotiate their pay in the workplace. And she says that this is a homing pigeon. It will find its way home when released. And she would like me to release this bird as a symbol of how since starting the programs, she has been released from the cage that she has been living in because of her lack of confidence and self-doubt. Thank you. Thank you. I was so moved. Here was this smart, talented, already successful woman who felt like she was living in a cage because of her self-doubt. I hugged the driver, said thank you, and then I took the cage and I went over to the river by where I live, and I sat it down and sat next to the bird, just observing it and thinking about how amazing it was going to be to actually release this bird and watch it fly off into the beautiful sky. So after a little while, I get up, I go in to get the bird, and it starts flapping its wings furiously, almost like it thinks I want to attack it, not set it free. And so I grab it as gently and as firmly as I can, and I bring it out, and I take one step forward, and I set it free. The bird flies out, and then it flutters a little and flies over here, and then it perches itself on a yacht on the river 20 feet away. So the moral of the story is that happiness is not found from setting yourself free and doing what you're made for. Happiness is clearly found on a yacht in Fort Lauderdale. So today, I'm not going to talk to you about how to find happiness on a yacht in Fort Lauderdale. That would be a whole 3-day conference. Instead, what I'm going to talk to you about today is what causes people to feel like they're living in cages. Because not just with the women that I work with, but every day when I meet people, I find that people feel that they're living trapped in a cage, right? Whether it's a cage of family expectation, a cage of financial responsibility, or just simply a cage of their own overwhelming thoughts. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about today are the lies that cause people to feel like they are in cages. Because in my work, what I have found is that there's 3 types of lies. There is the societal lie. Now, the societal lie is the unspoken conversation going on all around us all the time about who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to look like, and what you should be striving for. It is the images and messages that you see in TV, in magazines, and on social media. It's the lie that would have you believe that happiness really is found on a yacht in Fort Lauderdale. Now, to be clear, for a percentage of the population, that yacht is not a lie. It's their truth. Maybe they love yachting. Maybe they love the ocean. Maybe they built companies and employed hundreds of people, and that is a symbol of their accomplishment and their contribution. For them, it's their truth. The societal lie is when you decide that someone else's definition of success, whether it be money, career, relationship status, should be yours also. Now, the second type of lie is the familial lie. And the familial lie is the lies told to us by the people who are closest to us that mean well. I remember there was a colleague of mine, a physical trainer, who had women come in that he worked with all the time, and there was a group of women that came in regularly. One day, one of the women was expressing how miserable she was in her marriage, again, and that she didn't think she could take it anymore, and she wanted to get a divorce. Her friends, wanting to help, chimed in, reminding her of how much money her husband makes, and that honestly, she probably wouldn't be able to survive on her own, so it's probably best that she just stays. The danger of the familial lie is that it comes from the people closest to us. The challenge with it is that it's fear-based. A familial lie is when someone else's fear becomes your own. And finally, there's the intimate lie. The intimate lie is when a life incident or your life situation ends up defining you. Now, the intimate lie is a little interesting because it's hard to recognize. It's almost like your nose, right? In order to see it, you either need someone to hold up a mirror or you need to do a serious self-examination. The way the intimate lie works is that there's surface lies, and then underneath it, there's a hidden lie, an intimate lie. So these surface lies are the everyday justifications that we hear. Oh my gosh, I don't have the time, it's too hard. Oh my God, I'd love to come to your party, but I really need to feed the dog. So it's these justifications. So the woman who really wants to take care of her body, and she says, oh, I really want to make it to the gym, but it's just so hard after work, and the classes I like are never the right times at the gym, and I know you're not supposed to eat carbs, but there's a bread basket everywhere. Right? Underneath that is the intimate lie that if I take care of my body, I might start losing weight. And if I do, men will notice me more. And then I might get raped again. The intimate lie is when you become hostage to something that's happened in your past, or you are waiting for something to happen in your future. And these lies are extremely dangerous because people are making decisions on a daily basis based on these lies. And that's why in my work, I have made it my mission to have the important conversations that need to be had to uncover these lies and then give women the practical tools they need to build up their confidence so they can break free and create the life that they truly desire. Because the thing is, women are already extraordinary. And when they uncover these lies, it is unbelievable what they can do. I remember one of the meetings that we had a woman come in, and in the previous month, the women had an action item. The action item was simply to take a look at an area of their life that they had been avoiding or ignoring and take one simple step towards resolving that thing. They didn't have to go handle it all, but they did need to take a step. So they come back the following month, and in the meetings, we always have accountability. Every single woman gets to share what she did the previous month. And when I asked who would like to go first, her hand just shot right up. And I said, yes, please. She said, after last month's meeting, I realized there was something I'd been avoiding for a while in my relationship. My boyfriend of 3 years, a year ago, he moved out of state, and he shared that, I was supposed to move out there with my kids, but every time the conversation comes up, there'd always be something, a reason, or we had to move it. So after the meeting, I decided I would just drive up to see him on the weekend and just have a conversation. That's it, just a conversation. She said, but when I got up there and we were talking, he didn't come out and say it, but I realized that I am not in the vision for his future. She said, so I broke up with him because I realized that I can't wait around for other people to decide my life for me. I can't wait around for other people to decide my life for me. In the next year, she started her own company with her sister. They got huge corporate accounts. She got into the best shape of her life, and she found a new love. This is what happens when you stop believing the lies. You get to embrace the truth. And so what I'd like to do is I asked the ladies in my community if they would like to share some of the lies that they've been able to overcome. And I'd love to share them with you. So, okay. I told myself that my desire to change careers was selfish and irresponsible. I'm quite glad that's not the case. I would lie to myself when I thought I did not have enough time. Now I am making the time. I used to believe that nobody could clean my house but me. Go, girl. I told myself that I had to be perfect in every aspect of my life or I'm a failure. With my body, with my home, with my work, with my kids, everything. I have learned to appreciate that 80% done is good enough. And I am much lighter and much happier. Awesome. So, before we go, what's amazing is that these women, right, are your mothers, your wives, your sisters, your daughters, your girlfriends. These are everyday women. And you too can make an impact, right? What you can do is stop reinforcing the lie and instead be a beacon for the truth. I'd like to share one more thing with you before I go. When I was 14 years old, I was shopping at a store called Susie's Deals. Everything at Susie's Deals was $5. Dresses, shirts, jeans, everything. I went in, I was looking around, I grabbed a few clothes and went back to the dressing room. This dressing room was very sparse, fitting rooms, just stalls with curtains on it. And they had no doors. So I went in, I started to change, and in the fitting room next to me, there was a woman with her daughter. And as I was changing, what I heard broke my heart. You're so slow. What's wrong with you? God, you can't do anything right. I don't even know why I brought you here. You're so ungrateful. This woman was angry. She was frustrated. And all I could hear from the little girl was whimpers of, I'm sorry, I'll try harder, and really just sounding like she wanted to disappear. As I changed, I thought about this girl and how badly I wanted to tell her that she wasn't slow and she wasn't ungrateful and she wasn't horrible. And I knew this because I had heard that about myself so many times. Right? With 3 sets of parents growing up, in and out of foster care, and with cruel, cruel caretakers, I was all too familiar with this conversation and how unfair and how untrue it really was. So I finished up, I started to go out, and as I was about to leave, the mom needed to get another size. So I looked at her out in the dressing room, and although at the age of 14 years old, I was just terrified of this woman, I couldn't help myself. I pulled the curtain back, and in front of me was this girl who looked about 9 or 10, and I said, she's wrong. You're not slow. You're not horrible. She's just really angry, and she's taking it out on you. Don't believe her. And I walked away. I don't know what compelled me to do that day, but I know that that part of me is what compels me to do the work that I do today. I believe that every single one of us should help the person next to us break free because we have a responsibility and because sometimes, just like that bird, we need a hand. So I encourage you to be that hand, or if you need the help, take that hand, because it's together that we can, by helping each other, change the world. Thank you.